Hi, welcome back to Girl Math Podcast. I'm Laura.
I'm Sierra.
And today we're going to be discussing stepping into your feminine energy, kind of what that looks like, how we are incorporating that into our lives right now, and maybe a little bit how you can too. Hopefully we can spread a little bit of knowledge on this topic.
Yeah.
I will say, disclaimer, we are not experts in this. We are definitely really taking a fascination in this topic, and we're really trying to incorporate that into our lives.
Yeah.
So we're just going to talk about it.
Yay.
Sierra,
Hey.
how are you tonight?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy
Let's
to be
cheers.
here. I know. Let's cheers to Grow My Podcast. Growing our platforms.
Cheers, everybody.
We only condone drinking for 21 and older.
Not the disclaimer.
This is so
yummy.
good. Great choice.
Yes.
Shout out to Abby. That is good. I think I need to reposition this, actually. Didn't realize that. So yeah, feminine energy.
So I know you've been doing a little bit of reading up on this lately.
Yeah.
And so
oh my gosh.
some of the things that you like, what are some of the things that have really stood out to you this week when you've been like really diving into this topic?
Great question. This topic was fairly new to me. I remember you mentioning it to me 3-4 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and you were like, you should really search dark feminine energy. And I was like, my brain went to voodoo and like some like, like, what do they call that?
Maybe manipulation or like
it just took me to something negative
connotation.
So I was like, okay, and I never looked it up until we decided to have this as our topic. And what I realized is the number one thing in having feminine energy or stepping into it is like self-love, and like your value on yourself is so high that you just, you handle your business. You exude this level of confidence. You tend to all of your, your self-care. You're assertive, you're kind, you're courageous. All of the things that make somebody like just radiate this like, I don't know. But the number one thing that stuck out to me was the understanding of your self-worth.
Yeah.
You can't step into your feminine energy until you realize how powerful you are.
Yeah.
Being, even in what that means.
I think that's like a great foundation for this topic, is definitely like starting with self-love and just like exploring into that. And I think when you do start to understand like yourself, and when you do start to just understand human nature, there are so many like facets and like emotions that we all feel. Mm-hmm. And when you have this kind of like focus, like where like, okay, I'm gonna try to go out through my day and exude this like certain kind of energy. Well, number one, you don't want to think about it too hard, but sometimes I am gonna feel like on edge, or like I'm gonna feel impatient, or I'm gonna feel maybe stressed out about something. And then something that like I will try to do is like handle those situations with grace and slow down and understand that like you can feel that emotion and you can go through those difficult times and still exude that femininity in the way that you handle yourself.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was good. So like that was really good.
So it's just like feminine energy isn't just be soft, wear pink, do this and do like wear a little rose petals.
Life is gonna happen, and it's how you react in those situations and how you carry yourself and problem solve. And it's a very good point. Whenever you were talking, I was coming to a thought of like, I feel as if I have just, ever since we've started being friends again, like my like feminine energy, I've been able to just step into it more and more. I'm not sure. I think it's the influence, because for so many years I like lost track of like myself, and then I had these really intrusive thoughts for a long time, and anything negative that anyone ever said to me, for some reason I held onto those. So I would always think like people were looking at me or talking about me in a negative way. So when we started being friends, I just started this like guard just started coming down. My boundaries, like I just it wasn't that my boundaries got softer. It was more like I stepped into the soft girl era. But this last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, oh my gosh, I have just started to just like my soul feels like it's smiling like all the time. And the reason I'm even saying that is because like you were saying that sometimes you can feel stressed or, you know, anxiety or whatnot. And that's normal. We all experience that. But when I am actively like doing the next right thing and tending to myself and, you know, handling my business and also learning to be confident in like just, you know, just the natural progression of like the self-care and stuff, then the natural progression is to start stepping into that feminine energy.
Yeah, like I think to go along with
but
what
you have
you're
to be
saying,
you have to be intentional. There are things that I do that we are intentional about, exercise and, you know, tending to our bodies. And, you know, obviously we're not super fit or anything, but that's not even really the goal. The goal is to just be healthy and to be mobile and to stay active and to not be in front of our phones and just, you know, giving our screen time to the phone and doing something that's healthy. So it's not just going to come if you're just like, yeah, give me feminine energy, I'm going to be confident. Like you have to put intention behind it and give yourself and your soul what it needs.
Yeah, so let's talk about a little bit about like some of the things that you can like really practice.
Yes, how to step into it.
Learning how, learning how to be assertive or like direct, learning how to communicate with people where they're going to take you seriously, but you are also, because like when it comes to like feminine energy and just like femininity, and you look at like kind of the route that like women have gone just like based on like society and the roles that we tend to take on as women, you know, like it is really easy for that situation to end up where you are people pleasing and you're a doormat and you're like rolling over and doing all this stuff. You're taking on so much stuff maybe in your life or where you feel out of control. Maybe you have been manipulated into doing something. You're taking on so much. So it's like being comfortable to like take your space back and take your time back.
So important.
That's like a sign of like strength.
That's like groundwork right there. You have got to be able to like let your yeses be yes and your no's be no. Say what you mean and mean what you say. But I think even starting that, like reclaiming your power, you have to understand what your own boundaries are. And even understanding your own boundaries, I think that to take it a step further, if you are unclear of your boundaries, then you really need to take a look at, is this adding value to my life or taking it away? If it's taking it away, then it should be something that you're not giving your time and energy to. I mean, obviously you want to like, you know, give back or do this, that, but ultimately we need to stay laser focused and watch, you know, what's pouring into our lives. And if it's not adding value, then put up a boundary and learn how, you know?
Yeah, you know, I think too, like people may find themselves in a position where they really have to like take a step back and evaluate like, okay, where am I at in this situation? Like, there's not this situation. You can't just get up and leave it, right? Like, that's probably 99% of people's, like, circumstances. They cannot just get up and leave. And so, like, some of the little changes that, like, I feel are really much more powerful than people realize will be the moments where, okay, so you have a difficult relationship with somebody, let's say. Or, like, for example, I'm a manager and, like, I have to, you know, guide all of these like young girls and stuff like that. You know, obviously putting my foot down is definitely going to be something that benefits me, but also like I can practice. It's going to gain the respect and I can still maintain that level of not feeling out of control, but also like giving little
but you also realize that those are needed. That's like
giving little. Hold on. Sorry, one little thing, because like, okay, so when you're dealing with other people, especially, it's just like remember to pay attention to like the little ways that you are giving energy. So like, if somebody does something and you have a relationship with somebody and you're close, and some of the things they do like really get on your nerves or something. Some way that you can navigate through that in a peaceful and mature sense, I think is actually making sure that you are recognizing even the littlest thing that somebody does right, and starting to making sure that you're pouring into those little moments where somebody does something right, they say the right thing, they make you feel good, and really expressing that. I think it's like the gratitude, like passing that around and like, making sure that positivity is communication.
It comes down to communication. That one woman I sent you, who's the really beautiful girl, that woman on Instagram who is, I think you've even posted her now sometimes. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, I listened to her podcast yesterday.
Yeah.
And she said one of the top ways to be empowered in a feminine state is to is to effectively communicate what is working for you that someone does and what isn't.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, and that goes back to even something that I said in the last podcast about, like, educating yourself. If you don't have the words, if you don't have the words in your brain to, like, communicate that, there's always going to be this sense of not being understood and maybe even not understanding the other person until, like, gosh, I remember when I was a kid, and I don't know if this is maybe, like, just a weird little thing that I did, but, like, I swear I would hear a word. I would learn what it was. It would be a big, sophisticated word, and I would be like, it would just pop into my brain in the morning, and I'm like, I'm going to use that word today. And I always would. I would always find a way to use it. I did that, like, all the time, just, like, little things. Like, the word facetious, that is one of my favorite words. It's actually a little bit different than sarcastic, but it's, like, on the lines of, like, joking. And anyway, that's a random ass thought.
Yeah.
But
so wait,
it's like knowing how to communicate with somebody. Like, you didn't make me angry. You made me, like, maybe disappointed, or you showed me that I'm not sure about this or that. Like, being able to, like, really choose that right word, like the verbiage that you choose, really makes a difference in getting your point across and making sure that people understand you and that, like, you do resolve.
And if you don't have a partner that, or it doesn't even have to be a partner, but a friend who doesn't hear you when you communicate those thoughts, that would be something to, like, maybe think, this isn't, you know, adding value to me. Because we all need to be heard and respected, and our feelings do matter. We may not understand each other's feelings, but you can't disregard them.
And that's why I think, like, women, like, relationships with other women, especially in my life, I have found to be so important for my grounding. So, like, my sister and I were super close. We see each other at least once a week, and we do, like, Sister Sunday. And I mean, I couldn't be, like, more grateful for that opportunity. And, like, I do recognize that, like, not everybody has that,
like, a good, healthy
community
relationship
for themselves. And it's like,
it is the truth.
It's definitely making me realize, like, I'm looking around and saying, like, wow, like, having that support system that I have, like, shout out to my friend Summer, Kylie, obviously you. My mom, but, like, you know, when my little Chihuahua, rest his beautiful soul, when he passed away, I went to my family, like, for multiple, like, dinners and get-togethers, and all the neighbors came over and, like, we had dinner. Like, I do have, like, a support system, like, around me that, you know, at times you forget what you have and then you realize it, or sometimes you look around and you say, like, the people that I have been around in my life, like, they're not doing that for me. And it's like, how could I have gotten through that difficult time without being regrounded into, like, being secure? I was having so much anxiety from going through that trauma. Like, oh my God. You know, people experience those kinds of things all the time. Like, everybody has those.
The truth of the matter is a lot of people just don't have that support. But it is really important that we are aware of how important it is to have that support, to start, like, if you don't have a good, you know, family support system, then you can choose your friends.
Yeah, the first step is just awareness.
Yeah.
Because once you know that.
Maybe not trying to meet new friends that are going to, you know, add value to your life at a bar. Or, you know, I'm not saying that you can't, but I'm just saying, like, don't go to a strip club and think you're going to find a girlfriend.
Going to the right place and, like, But that's also where just like the natural course of your own elevation will bring those people into your life organically.
That is exactly what I was thinking.
So also waiting for those opportunities organically and doing that work on yourself. So like, you know, getting a new job and being in a new environment where people hold themselves to a certain standard, like you're just naturally going to be around better, more productive people. Your odds go up for meeting the right kind of people to be around.
And then you're around quality people that you want to engage and be friends with. I just am so thankful that you and I have the same, like we have like-minded, like we're like-minded in the way that we don't want to ever get, we don't ever want to get stagnant or like complacent, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's talk about more ways to activate your feminine energy.
Okay.
Ways I have been reading up on, meditation, obviously. We say obviously, but how many of us meditate?
Really meditate. Yeah.
I would love to challenge us to do like 10 minutes a day. That would be cool.
Maybe we could do like accountability thing.
Just for like 5 days. For the next 5 days, like just like sitting with ourselves and our thoughts. And I don't know if we're supposed to clear our mind, or because what I read is that you're supposed to start to understand your dreams and your thoughts and, you know, process things and just sit there in peace. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, you know, another thing that we could even potentially look into would be like, if we looked into like taking a class for like guided meditation so that we can actually learn about meditation, because it's a very true thing for me that like sitting down and clearing my mind and having nothing going in my mind, never going to happen.
I know, I've tried so many times.
I am thoroughly educated on it, like swear.
Yeah.
I just don't sit down and my brain shuts up. It doesn't shut up. My mouth barely shuts up.
Have you ever watched Eat, Pray, Love?
I watched the first half of it and I just like wasn't that into it. But you also know that I go to bed super early, so it's like even if I start a movie, it has to be at 5:30 or else it's too late. I'm watching half of it.
Basically, like I liked the idea of like I will never do it, but somebody just engulfing their life in meditation and like.
Yeah, so I understand the journey that she went on was like she went to like a whole nother culture and kind of got like immersed.
Yes.
And it kind of brought her perspective back around to like what's really important. Am I wrong about that? And then it
added value to her life in ways that she couldn't even think of.
Yes.
So meditation is good. Journaling.
Taking a scenic drive.
Another big one was connecting with Mother Nature.
Yeah.
The ultimate feminine power or something like that.
I agree.
I don't know what
I would agree with that, even though I'm not like knowing that from a factual standpoint, but like
when I read that, I did think about you because you're always like, let's go on a walk, let's get outside.
My gosh, I have to get in. I actually bought a plant today.
I have 2 houseplants, and whenever I move this weekend, I plan to get more. My house is always
Mark my words, I will keep this one alive.
How do you kill a plant?
Watering it too much. Or not enough. I don't know. I don't know.
Time out. What happened to you? Did they become brown?
They're still green, but like there are no roots. So my hairstylist, she actually was like, because I was looking around, she had plants everywhere, and I was like, how do you keep these alive? And then I told her about my plant, and I was like, the roots the plant is just coming up out. So like the roots detached, so they drowned. Yeah. That's what that means. Yes. So I overwatered it.
Well, I water my plants once every 2-3 weeks.
Exactly.
You're like, I get to do it again.
No, I like lose track. I'm like, I don't know when I've been here. I don't know if I need to have a little calendar on there. Like,
no,
if I need to put it on my phone.
I literally let time pass where I'm like, it's been a long time since I've watered.
I forgot you existed.
All of a sudden,
let me just water you. But here's the thing. I'll do that in like a 3-day span. I'll be like, oh my God, I forgot I have this plant. And then it's been 3 days, not 2 weeks.
No, yeah. It's so cool to see them grow into like.
I know the one I got is really beautiful, so I'm hoping to just keep it beautiful.
You will. Don't water it.
Okay.
Also,
I'll text you before I water it.
Time out. Do you fucking get your water out of the sink?
Yes.
That's fine, but you need to have a jug of water and have it sit out for weeks and then keep using that one.
Why?
It's something in the way it just
sets and like grows bacteria.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but that's
Just kidding.
I'm going to make that your profile picture. Okay. So
that's a great point. Mother Nature, getting into the nature and everything.
Basically,
grounding, where you go outside without your shoes on.
I've heard some great things about that too.
I
don't know that I'll ever
did it a lot as a kid, actually.
Yeah. Okay, another great way that I'm going to start to try and tap into my feminine energy and reclaim my power is by daily affirmations. Okay. And I wrote down a few, and I'm going to share them with you guys.
Please.
I actually set it as my background because
I have one.
What's yours?
As my background.
Oh, well, your phone.
Oh, my phone's right here. I do remember, but I'm going to let you go first.
Let me take a drink.
Yep.
Okay.
That is delicious.
So good.
God.
Some affirmations that you can say for yourself if you're wanting to reclaim your power. I am powerful beyond belief. I am a liberated woman or a liberated man. Because we know the majority of our viewers are men. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
I am capable of great things. I attract my desires. I have the courage to move through my fears and have faith that I will be supported. So that right there is like the essence of it. Another point to make really quick is being supported. Another trait of being feminine or stepping into your feminine power or energy is to be receptive. To be receptive.
Yes, this is so huge. Like, this is really, really striking a chord with me. Huge. Accepting help.
Yes.
Asking for help. That has been one of my biggest challenges in my life, is like knowing when to ask for help and not being like maybe prideful.
Yeah.
But like just knowing that you can't do it all on your own. And so like that's a huge one when it comes to that leads us kind of into like the way that like we do need to educate ourselves on setting boundaries with your boss, setting boundaries with your friends and your family. When they're asking you, they're all asking you to do something for the company or for your family or for them. There is so many ways that like, yes, I want to be there to help my family, but then there are times where I have to say, no, I am really, really overworked right now and I have to take a break. And I'm willing to do what I can to like help you come to a resolution. But like, no, it's a no from me, period.
I was so proud of myself for like, normally whenever someone asks me to go out of my way for them, like I feel obligated to help or to say yes. It's almost like I owe them or something.
Right.
I'm indebted to them for the help that they gave me. But yesterday I said no and they tried to make me feel bad. Their response was, wow. And I just like, now that I'm stepping into this feminine energy and reclaiming my power, I'm like, wow to you for fucking being disrespectful, not even caring about what I've got going on today. Wow to you. I don't know. It just kind of like really upset me because
I think rightfully so.
It's almost like, so you're pushing over this line of boundaries because, and that translates to me as you just don't care about me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's exactly.
So, but being receptive to support, being thankful for the support.
Knowing you can't do it all by yourself.
Yeah.
That's a huge one in being in your feminine, because a woman who is trying to do everything by herself is in her masculine.
Exactly.
She is doing that because out of necessity, out of scarcity.
Or out of like whatever the situation is. Yeah. Fear, abandonment, like there's many
and
things,
there's a lot of psychology of course that goes into that like you can put that work into and like find that you can find what you need in order to make yourself whole and to find yourself stepping into this.
Which brings me to another point. Another huge thing about reclaiming your power is understanding the little girl inside of us that had hopes, dreams, and desires, but by being in this world have been hurt. So understanding what has hurt us along the way and then doing the work to heal. That's the biggest part of this is healing your inner, like the wounds and all the things. So in order to do that, you have to do work. So I read that a really great way to get to know what your fears are get to know what has hurt you in the past is to do a shadow book journaling. Have you heard of a shadow book?
I feel like I've heard of it, but I'd love for you to explain because I'm not sure.
Well, I am not an expert on it. I have looked into it. I have purchased one. I have yet to sit down and do it, but I've heard great things. From what you understand,
do you like know anything about it, like the premise of it?
It is to take a deeper dive into like your child. I really don't know.
Triggers, maybe?
Your triggers, your fears, if you're jealous. And then, okay. I mean, I don't even know how it does it, but it does it in the subconscious or something like that.
Okay.
So really powerful stuff. I've read a lot of great things about it. Also was going to say that the link of this article I read about stepping into feminine energy, it gave a lot of scenarios on ways in which women or men are the opposite.
Yeah.
So maybe if you like wanted to know, like, I don't know, it was like, okay, a woman got divorced and she has 2 kids, so she's really stepping into her masculine energy and has forgotten how to be in her soft, like receptive, loving, compassionate, gentle phase because she's just been so hard and hardened. And it's not wrong because life happens, but it's up to us to be very mindful on, where we're at and what we're becoming. So anyways,
yeah, I agree with that 100%.
Do you have anything else to add, or do you want to wrap it up?
We would love to introduce the idea of doing like a Q&A or live where you guys are able to ask questions, leave them in the comments below. Yes. We will choose a certain number per week and we will be getting back to those, and we'll have segments where we can really interact with you guys and kind of figure out what you guys are wanting to know from us. What are you wanting to hear? Like, we can definitely cue you in on so much stuff, but we're really just diving into stuff that we're passionate about now. And we'd love to hear what you guys have to say or have any questions for us so that we can kind of really go along the line of what you guys want to hear.
Yeah, so we can build some sort of interaction with our viewers. I also want to encourage you guys to step into your feminine energy, reclaim your power.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely important to, like, whenever somebody is, like, learning through these processes that we're talking about, there are people who are going to be, like, advanced and they already know what we're talking about and they already maybe practice this and maybe this is just, like, some inspiration. But there are going to be people that really don't know much about it, and I think it's really important for people to, like, take a step back, slow down. Do things that make you feel good, like inside of your home, like deep cleaning your bedroom, getting into those clean sheets, cooking, doing something that like instills more confidence, or like some things that
brush your hair,
that like reinstill that confidence inside of you, and really just like, it's okay to take a break and really remember, like, okay, you know what? I've been working and I've been moving so fast. I want to cook myself a fucking meal. It's been 20 weeks since I've gotten in the kitchen, and it would be really therapeutic for me to spend some time in my home with myself, just like doing what I want to do in the moment. And so like making sure that you're setting aside a little bit of time to slow down and do some of those like mundane things, and those little steps get you more in touch with like yourself, and then you can move from that position to getting into some of these more niche, like,
taking it
topics that we're talking about, and getting
activities.
The self-development is going to happen in phases. You can't go to, oh, I'm healed after like the first therapy session. Like, you need to go home, fucking wash your clothes, wash your fucking ass.
It's one thing. It's an overall it's an overall consistency of all of these things that are feeding into your soul and feeding into your life. Before we end this, I keep having these like, oh, that's so important too. I don't know if you guys know anything about your chakras, but I don't know much about it. All I know is that they're super duper important. So they're points of your body that, like, your forehead.
So there's crown,
your sacral,
navel, your chest, your neck,
your throat,
your head, your throat, your head, and your crown.
Okay.
So there's like
I don't know how you go about clearing that. Is it meditation?
So that's actually something that I was just thinking the other night. I was walking around my house like, I really want to learn more about this because I really don't know anything about it or how to align it. But like,
I think you go to like a Reiki,
that just like, you know, even with just that, like we should go like educate ourselves about that. But even just like start by paying attention to your body. Where are you feeling tension? Where are you feeling
in my, like, I just feel like right here. I just would love to get it unblocked.
Yes.
And so I read up on this, and it's important to clear these chakras and to be in alignment with your body. But I wouldn't know the first place to do that or how to guide anyone into doing that. So if you know anything about that, let us know where or how or, you know, what to do. Because that is also something that I read. If your chakras are blocked, the energy that you exude will be very chaotic, anxiety filled. It will not be feminine, gentle energy. So
yeah, and people have a lot of difficulty like interacting with you the way that they naturally and organically would if you have that kind of energy spewing out of yourself, and it's not you. Like, that's not who you are. Like, you are not anxiety. Yeah. You are not tension. Like, you know, have this opportunity to be a powerful light and like a powerful like purpose that comes down to this earth and like really spreads like your purpose. And whenever we get caught up in these pressures, anxieties, like the mental illness and stuff like that, it's like, you know, we've got to like really do the work and like stay clear so that we can present as our organic, love-filled human being that we are.
You just have to learn how to show up for yourself and show up as the person that you want yourself to be.
Show up for yourself like you show up for others.
Yes.
All right, on that note.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Cheers to this episode.
Cheers.
This was a great topic, something to learn about. But hey, don't forget that our goal is to get some interaction with you guys. Please go to our TikTok, girlmath816, and subscribe to our channel. Maybe share some videos. But next week we'll be talking about another interesting topic. So make sure to stay tuned. We'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.
Bye.